Good afternoon. Clearly, I am not Dylan Black, and he is off today. And originally, I'm Kimothy Walker, by the way. Originally, I was to come in and be a guest and talk about a book. And now I'm going to talk about that book with Michael Curran from Great River Media and Ottawa Business Journal, which I participated in, and then I'm going to host the rest of the show. So we're going to have a great time here today. So Michael Curran, you and I were joking that, you know, this is going to be the funniest interview ever. Like, hi, Michael, what do you think of our book?
Yeah. We'll have to arm wrestle to see who interviews whom here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, I was thinking about this coming over here today, and, you know, we had our launch on Thursday night, of course, and it was just so exciting to finally see it.
100%.
What is your favorite part? Because people have asked me what is my favorite part of our book.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and as you might know, Kimothy, you know, we publish things with quite a regularity. So, you know, hundreds of newspapers, magazines on a regular basis. And something really struck me at our launch party at City Hall last Thursday, and you know, it is a special occasion for us to do a project this magnitude. It's as you said, a beautiful coffee table book. It was, you know, almost 2 years in the planning.
Oh, we have it here.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Holding it up.
So we have a tendency to forget, like we publish something and we just move on to the next project. And when I was there on Thursday night listening to the mayor speak, Yasser Naqvi speak, and also Guy Laflamme, the man who really is the architect of Ottawa 2017, it really started sinking into me that, whoa, this is something really cool and significant that we've done. And so it was a very nice feeling.
What I really enjoyed was the surprise that the mayor had for us that this is going in the time capsule.
Yeah.
And, you know, our great-grandchildren will probably see it one day. And I really enjoyed the essays.
Yes.
So we had, just so everybody knows, we had several people write essays for this. And it was a magical contribution for people to speak in their words, like Alison Fisher at Wabino. I mean, talking about growing up Indigenous in Canada, and, you know, my Uncle Gord, who's an expert in leisure in Canada, was in there. And, you know, that was really nice. And then, of course, the part on Confederation, right? The essay that you helped put together.
Yeah, no, I think the essays were a nice component. You know, when we were working for all those months to pull together the book, the scope of it was so wide, it was hard to kind of narrow it down and say, what is it actually going to look like, and what are the various components, and what order of that. But the essays are, I think, a beautiful complement to what is mostly a pictorial type book. And I think, you know, for people here, people in your audience, you know, all of those wonderful Ottawa 2017 signature event photos. I think,
like this one,
no kidding. Yeah, there's a great example of them. So, you know, again, going back to the mayor's time capsule comment, that it really does strike me that we have created what we wanted to do, which was a commemorative book that hopefully people will look at 1, 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road and say, wow, that's what they did in the sesquicentennial to celebrate Confederation. It makes me very happy.
Now that we all know how to pronounce that word. Prior to this year, I'm not sure that any of us did. One of the things that I like to, and we gave some of the proceeds of the sale that night at our launch to the Michael Jean Foundation, because Madame Jean and Jean-Daniel Lafont were among the first people to sign up and be essayists in this book. And they write these beautiful essays, hers more about where she's been and what she's learned, and Jean-Daniel Lafont's about where we're going as a nation, and you know, starting and ending the book.
They bookend the book. The book, you know, that is.
The opening and the finale, and it was so great to have their support. So some of the money that is raised from the book will go to help Indigenous young people, and particularly with a focus on youth mental health and trying to find a way through the arts to kind of look at that. And then the other thing, of course, is that money was raised from partnering with Briere for healthcare here in Ottawa.
I think in a couple examples, Briere being one of them, obviously Michael Jean Foundation, and even the Royal Ottawa, I think we had 3 partners that were involved in the nonprofit charitable sector, and each of them will use the book to leverage to raise funds. So that's another bonus outcome of this great project.
And of course, Carleton University.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we're both alums.
Yeah,
so.
University of Ottawa was also in the book, but we were kind of chuckling about how many of us had actually gone to Carleton University, and they're featured in the book as well.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. I think I told you this when we first decided to do this. That I remember when I was little and sitting with my dad and having a coffee table book, and it was the Life magazine, big,
wonderful.
the big, heavy coffee
big
table
annuals,
book. And I would just sit there on his lap, and that was the time of, there were photos from the Vietnam War, and there were photos of Woodstock and things like that. I'm dating myself now, I realize. Now everybody knows how old I am.
Couldn't possibly have been Woodstock.
And, it was all these wonderful pictures, and I would just sit there looking at these pictures, and that's one of the things that my daughter gets home from St. FX on Wednesday to come to the Amazing People Gala, and I just think it's going to be so cool when I can sit with my daughter on a couch, and she's going to look through all these pictures, because she wasn't here for most of 2017.
That's great. That's a wonderful opportunity. And I think, of the dozens and hundreds and thousands of other people have that opportunity. Coffee table books are kind of perfect for today's generation. You think of, social media and the prominence of photography mostly in social media, and that's again what we've captured, I think, in a beautiful way.
We should tell people how to find it.
Yes.
We have a shop online.
Yes, you can go to Canada150book.ca.
Perfect. And it will be shipped right to your house, which I love too, because these things weigh a lot. We found out on launch night, big boxes of them.
That's it.
Thank you. And thank you for partnering with me.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. Wonderful
when people say, will you do another one? I said, it's kind of like labor. Ask me, sometime later. All right.
Not right now.
Yeah, not right. I need some recovery time. We'll be right back.